Welcome everybody on a rainy day. We are over here in Chaliang, which is the old part of Si Satchanalai. This is a 13th century era settlement that was over here. It's right over, I think it's the Yam River that passes right here by it. And there used to be an old Khmer town here. This was a frontier town. They had an earthen wall, and then they later reinforced it with laterite stones during the Sukhothai era. And this is outside of the Si Satchanalai Historical Park, and we're going to walk through here and take a look at it and see what we see today. This is a really cool temple. It's a 20 baht admission to get in here, and we'll see it has a little modern part that's active, and then it has the old ruins. So let's see what it looks like today. You can see right over here, this is the river, and this is kind of cool. This is a little bridge they built just for motorcycles to cross, and they're doing a little bit of work over there, shoring up the riverbank and stuff. So let's go in here now. This is kind of cool here. The river would have definitely been important because back in the old days, that's how they got, around. They could use the rivers because during rainy season, all the roads and everything would be flooded out. Over here, this is the active part of the temple. You can see the monks and stuff, and then we got a lazy dog right there. And then they do ceremonies and stuff over here. And then it has this really cool ordination hall right here that overlooks that chetty. So let's walk in here and let's see what it looks like inside. So this has the double Buasima stones, which designates it being a royal temple. But maybe it was a royal temple back during the Sukhothai era. Yeah, this temple predates Sukhothai, but they did expand and build more on it during that era of Thai history. So this is inside that hall. It's a really nice Buddha with the eyes downcast, the oval face. It's a Sukhothai style Buddha. You can see by the hair rolls and that little arch over the eyes. The eyebrows, it's kind of cool. The walls are just plain white. It has the wooden shutters that are carved and painted gold and red. It's quite nice, and it has the red teak wood up in the ceiling. And we got a monk over here that'll do the blessings and stuff. And you can see where the Thais have come over and stuck a gold leaf on them. So this one here has the eyes that are closed, which you see that in the Sukhothai era also. The eyes will be closed, or they'll be downcast. Yeah, that's really nice. In the seated posture. So let's go and look at the ruin part now. So you can see there used to be a little bit of a wall over there, and then they have this huge laterite stone wall. And then check out that stone carving up there. Oh, that's really nice. The size of these laterite stones is amazing. And then they cut those into little triangles and put on the top. And then you can see they carved the stones, and check out the little aspara. And then it has the little faces up there. So they say this is, with the aspara, kind of puts it in the Bayon era, which would have been Juriman VII, which is kind of the greatest extent of the Khmer Empire, and they were over to here. So you got to kind of duck down to get through here. And then we're rewarded with a huge seated Buddha and a beautiful chetty. So you can see it on this side also. And then the stone carvings right there. And then that ordination hall behind it. The styling is quite beautiful in it. And there's a couple other people over here enjoying the day. So you have a chetty over there with a little shrine. And then this would have been a nice hall with some really large columns. So it would have been the high roof. They'd have been octagon shape, and then we had another hall over there. And I'm not sure what the significance of that just one stone sticking up is. It's kind of interesting. So let's look at this Buddha and we'll see that chetty. So I have these small little stones here. They were the laterite and they carved them, and I think I've seen them over in Si Satchanalai, and I think they used those as maybe a foot wash or something. This is the only place I've ever seen those. But this is really cool. Ah, this is amazing. So this is definitely worth 20 baht to get in. So you see they had the double row of columns, and then they had these little, I think they were like balustrade windows. You see those? That was early Ayutthaya styling that you see that. So they would have been just little slits to let a cross breeze here and let in light. And then this Buddha is fantastic. Okay, either that or maybe not. They might have put dirt in them and used those for incense. That's what they're using it for right there. So we have two small standing Buddhas, one on each side. And then we had a small little laterite stone Buddha right there. And then another one over here on this side. It's mostly rotted away. There's just the legs of it and a couple small images right there. Yeah, so how cool is this? So there's the walking Buddha right here. And the Sukhothai era, they love to have the standing and walking Buddhas. And then they have another one that's down kind of in a little hole. And that's right next to the main Buddha. And you can see the back wall just butts right up against it. And then they would have had an entrance over here. That would have gave you like, you had a little walkway to go around. This would have been covered and would have had Sita images all around here. And this is this one on the right side of the Buddha. You can see it's down in that little hole, which is fantastic. So the hands are just missing, but it's in great, great shape. So the eyes are closed on this one, which that's a common style with the Sukhothai era. Okay, so let's go into the prang area now. It's kind of like a little maze here. You can go up those steps, and then you have all these little walkways that go around. And you can see those little faux windows. And then just looking up at that prang, it is just absolutely massive. So they built a little rail to where you can climb up there. Yeah, so you can see the little gallery there, kind of over towards the river, and one more staircase. So you have the little naga there, all the little regular imagery, and then this is the other side over here. It looks like there's another part of the river on that side of this temple, and some more of the buildings and stuff. Okay, so that was actually quite a bit of a climb. The stairs were all uneven. So this is inside the relic chamber. Oh, this is cool. So they have the old wooden doors here. You can see they have it plastered. You can smell the guano from the bats. And then this is the relic, the whole reason for this chedi. You see it's a lotus bud, and this is just colossal. I don't know how far you can see up in there. It's huge. So it's just a hollow chedi. And then the Thais have came over and left flowers and stuff here. And you can just see how it was painted. There's just a little tiny bit of it remaining after all these years. Okay, so let's go look at a little bit more of this temple. A huge wooden door. It's quite tall. I mean, it's way, way up here. Oh, I like doing stuff like this. So you can see how small the people are down there. And there's more of the temple over that way. Really cool. And the river over there. Yeah, you got to be careful on these stairs because it is steep. And that's the top knot of the Buddha right there. So you can see here, this is that little covered walkway. They call it the cloister. And you can see how narrow they cut these pieces of laterite, and then they put the plaster over the top of it. And then you would have walked all around here. They'd have had images seated every little bit. Yeah, this is really cool. And then we'll go back and see this other little chedi back here. It's kind of interesting how they did these stones sticking out. I don't know if they put like support beams across. That might be what they had it set up for, to support this outer wall whenever it was covered, or it would have been maybe to support the roof. But you can look up and see the prang. So you can go into the relic chamber that's facing the east, and then it has the 3 faux entrances on the other 3 cardinal directions. And then you go out here and there's a how in the world does this work? So we butt up right next to another hall, and there's just a little tiny narrow walkway here. Okay, so I thought we could get out here, but we can't. It's all closed up. These are literally stairs to nowhere. So we got to go back through to go see that other chetty that's back behind. Okay, so you have to come towards the front to go back around. So they have another one of these covered walkways right here. I'm pretty impressed with the size of these laterite stones. So they would have quarried them, and then they would have used elephants to drag them over here. And the smaller ones, they would have had like a team of 2 guys. They would have carried them between them. That's why they notched them, so they could stick a piece of wood in there and they could have carried them that way. So here we have a really nice seated Buddha. There would have been a little building over here. You can see what's left of it, just the little columns, and then the other chetties back there. But what a cool scene this is. You can see the faux door, all the little nooks up there, those little pediments. Oh, it's fantastic. And when you look over there, that contrast of the modern temple building with the golds and the reds. Oh, this is beautiful. So let's go back here. We'll look at this half chetty here. So right here we can see the remains of a couple little Buddhas, and then they would have had another image right there, and then we would have had another shrine building, and this would have been the gate to come into it from over here. You can see what's left of the little Aspara dancers and stuff, and we got a dog walking on the wall over there, and a bird perched up on top of that chetty, way at the top. So you can see here, here's another one of those hollowed out laterite stones, and there's one more on that side. And then the remains of some of the chetties and the old wall, and then this chetty right here. Looks like the old stairs that went up to the top of the bell, and it's just the top is missing. The whole above the relic chamber is all gone. Yeah, so we can see what's left of it here. Lots and lots and lots of laterite stones. Okay, this looks like a little mandrapa, so let's see what it looks like. Has a Buddha image inside of it. So we can see this side here, the roof is all missing, and there would have been something there. You can see a little bit of the plaster, and that would have been a doorway. There's probably like a standing Buddha or something inside of there, and then the bases of the columns. And they had another building over here. Oh, this is cool. So we have another little hall with a couple nice Buddhas inside of them. Oh, and I see what it would have been. So we would have had a standing Buddha here, probably a standing Buddha over there, and then a reclining Buddha, and then this seated Buddha here. So there would have been the 4 Buddhas, and then they have another one of those like hollowed out pieces of laterite stones. Okay, so this is not the seated, obviously. This is the standing. Ah, it's fantastic. So that one over there might have been the seated, and then over here would have been the reclining Buddha right here. So they would have had the back-to-back standing and walking Buddha, the reclining Buddha, and the seated Buddha, which is what you see a lot in the Sukhothai era. They had these little buildings like this, and they're fantastic. I saw these over at Camping Pet, and it's just unbelievable. First time I ever saw that was over there. All right, and then we can see the last little building here inside of these walls. So you have the 2 seated Buddha images, and then they had the smaller ones around, and then another little hall over there, and the perimeter wall, and the columns. And this would have been the place over here for the monks to sit, this little raised platform. And then there is part of the Buddha. And then up there is the chetty. Oh, it's really, really nice. Yeah, so this one here would have had to be the seated Buddha. So the reclining, the Sita, standing, and that full-on standing one over there, or the walking and the standing one. And then you got those little dogs over there. And then we can see that prong up there. All right, guys, that's going to finish up our video over here at this old 13th century temple over here in Si Satchanalai, this Chaliang, or however you say it, community. This is fantastic. This is just one of the nicest old temples that you'll see. I really like the styling in that they've done a nice job with keeping this humongous prong right here maintained. So hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, smash the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe and stick around, and then you're notified when I post a new video. I post a lot of videos of stuff like this, things that interest me, and this interested me today. So hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, then definitely smash the like button and leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. If you've been here or if you want to visit or anything like that, let me know also. And until next time, from over here in Si Satchanalai, remember, life is a journey. Until next time, enjoy.